Okay, sige. Okay, good evening, guys. So welcome to our uh, 11th session. So this is the first session that we are, the second session, no? Second session that we're going to have for the final examinations now. So I welcome you all to our session for tonight. And the usual, we'll have the presentation first, and then afterwards, we're going to have the question and answer and the other matters. So our topic for tonight is about software testing. I'm hoping that we can have um, fruitful evening about software testing. So we are now on our 11th module, that is chapter 11. And I did upload it, your topic for today and the module for last Monday. And I hope that you have started already your activities. So for our objectives for this evening about testing, software testing, number one is to identify and explain software testing methods. Number two is to appreciate software testing as a standard for software use in programming. And number three is to design, develop, implement, test, and debug a program using different testing levels and methods. So why do we need software testing? So we have 4 reasons for that. So number one is cost effectiveness, and number two is customer satisfaction, and number three is security, and number four is product quality. So let's dive more on software testing. As for the cost effectiveness, the first one, we all know that design defects can never be completely rolled out of for the complex system. So therefore, it is because developers are careless about the complexity of the system is instructable. No? So if you're going to design, if there are design issues to go undetected, it will become more difficult to trace back defects and rectify it. Meaning to say, mabudlay siya ng tadlongon. So it will become more expensive to fix it. And sometimes, while fixing one bug, we may introduce another in some module unknowingly. So if bugs can be identified in the early stages of development, then it costs much less to fix them. So that is why it is important to find defects in the early stages of the software development. And one of the benefits of testing is cost effectiveness. So therefore, so that you cannot expend too much for expenses, because while doing or developing a certain software or a system, testing is much beneficial if there's no bug, and it is cost effective to do this because you don't spend too much resources. And number two is customer satisfaction. No? So the ultimate goal is to give the best customer satisfaction. So customer satisfaction is very important because it gives the user experience of the application and gives the satisfaction to customers. It means that you develop for the customers, and happy customers mean more revenue for the business. So one of the reasons why software testing is necessary to provide the best user experience. So of course, it will not be a pleasant experience if there will be certain dependencies on the software na ginagamit nila. So again, number three is security. For security, this is probably the most sensitive and vulnerable part of software testing because, as you may all know, testing is penetration and security tests. So sometimes your system will be hacked, or it will be some hackers steal information from you for their benefit. And if your product is not safe, therefore, you cannot sell it to your customers. No? So testing helps in removing vulnerabilities in the product. So therefore, testing is very much important for security reasons. And the last one is product quality. So software testing is an art that helps in strengthening the market reputation of a company by delivering the quality product to the client, as mentioned. And due to this some reasons, software testing becomes very significant and integral part of the software development process. So you're going to test, you're undergoing testing because of the quality of the product, to ensure the quality of the product. So those are the 4 reasons why do we need to have software testing: cost effectiveness, customer satisfaction, security, and product quality. Your activity number 28, your activity is also called your fact check 28. What you're going to do is to answer the following questions. There will be 2 questions for you. Number 1 is, what is the ideal testing process or methodology? You can research on that and explain it in under 300 words and upload it to your Google Classroom. And number 2 is question, how can testing remove vulnerabilities from the software? So you can research on that again and explain it in under 300 words. Okay? So don't copy paste it from the internet, students. I will know because your work will be subjected to a check. Manaan ko man gyapon kung copy paste nyo lang sa internet. Okay? Sige. For testing levels, we have also 4 items here. Number 1 is testing, unit testing. Number 2 is integration testing, and number 3, system testing. The last one is acceptance testing. So what are these testing levels? Okay. The first one is unit testing, and unit testing is done to check whether the individual modules of the source code are working properly. So, for example, testing each and every unit of the application separately by the developer in the developer's environment, also known as the module testing or component testing. So, to learn about it, unit testing, check out our detailed unit testing guide, for example, on the later examples. Unit testing is done actually as a whole. So, you're testing your software as a whole, not in parts, not in half, but the whole. So for the whole unit, for the whole program duration, you have it is called unit testing because the totality of testing units from start to bottom is being performed. So that is why it's called unit testing. Okay, you're going to test your first code from top to bottom. Okay. Number 2 is integration testing. Integration testing is the process of testing the connectivity or data transfer between a couple of units tested modules. Like for example, sa unit testing last time, kanina, what I said is that you're going to test it as a whole. While integration tests, ginatunga-tunga mo siya. Like for example, you're doing the testing for the code in 4 parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4. So you perform first the part 1, gina-test man na siya. Kung nag-run siya, okay. Then standby. Number 2, testing, you're going to test testing part 2 test. Then the whole part for the code, yung gina-test mo, kung okay siya, then set aside. Then number 3, number 4. Kung matapos mo doon 1 to 4 nga part, gina-integrate mo siya. I mean, kasi gina-integrate mo doon, gina-tipon doon. So that is called integration testing, alright? So for integration testing, it is subdivided into top-down approach, bottom-up approach. Top-down means from babaw to dalong. Bottom-up is from dalong to babaw. Or sandwich approach, combination of top-down and bottom-up. Sandwich application, that approach. To learn about integration testing, we're going to talk about it in our testing guides. No, hindi Gio. Sorry. For number 3, system testing. It is also called the end-to-end testing. It's a black box testing. We're going to talk about black box tests later on. So it is also called end-to-end testing, no? Testing the fully integrated application. This is called an end-to-end scenario. This is why, because to ensure the software works in all integrated targeted systems, meaning to say, in all environments. Ang inyo na, ang libda nag-compile kamo sa IDE inyo. So, online IDE, integration, editing, So, what we're going to do for system testing is that It verifies through testing of every input in the application to check for desired outputs. Meaning to say, application na siya. So you don't test on the code itself. Meaning to say, ang code again ano ninyo is not tested. Rather, ang gina-test is ng application na as a whole. So that is end-to-end testing. And then the last one is very much important, the acceptance testing. Okay, this is the last test. This is the final test, so that you will know if your application you develop is applicable or not, or is it accepted. So to obtain customer sign off so that software can be delivered and payments received, the types of acceptance testings are alpha test, the beta test, and the gamma test. Tatlo na sila. Alpha test is ang preliminary test. The beta test is the feedback test wherein side by side ka mo ka customer, and then afterwards isa-isa mo ka na ang functionality kay mga software, tapos nag-feedback siya kanimo. So duha ka mo. Then afterwards, kung may ipa-perform siya sa kanimo or may reklamo siya sa system ng brand or application, then that's the last nga phase is the gamma test wherein dyan ang last na mga revisions na ginahimo. So acceptance testing. Ang acceptance testing ito may tatlo, no? Alpha, beta, or gamma test. All right. So next is your activity 29. It's called your fact check 29. So the same thing, what you're going to do is to answer 3 questions. No? The first one is, what is your take on software testing? What is your take, meaning say, para kanimo ano yung software testing, all right? So is it necessary, meaning kinahanglan gid, why, and explain it in 300 words. Okay. Number 2, what testing method is the most necessary for the software industry? Explain in under 500 words. So you're going to give what is the best testing method that the software industry is using. I'll give you a hint for this, students. It's called ISO 9. I forgot 9212. I just research on this. It's the standard for software testing. Okay. And number 3 is, how does testing levels put a boundary on software testing? So you have to how are you going to know that the testing levels have a certain limit of software testing, and what is your take on ISO IEC 29119? Explain it in 700 words. Okay. So I think your assignment has no due date. Anytime you can finish it, you can pass. And I'm not sure kung may deadline. I forgot. You just check it out in your Google Classroom, students. If you had a certain due date for this. Generally, what we have is during Monday, ginatao yung module, but you can pass it on Friday, I think. Okay, so next. So that's all. Thank you. So add as trust of income to the stars through knowledge. Thank you so much, students. You can contact me on those number. My email is this one, and my telephone number. And check out Pulgar Tech for your replay of this session sa YouTube natin, our YouTube channel, Pulgar Tech. Okay, thank you so much and good evening.
Good, sir.
Okay, guys, I think that's all our presentation for this evening. Let me okay, sige. Did you see the slides late kanina? Okay, good evening, guys. 20 of you. Pinagsulod diya sa part 2. Okay, sige. I'm just what's this gonna? I'm just listening for your inquiry regarding our activity for tonight. And if you have questions regarding our subject for our topic for this evening and software testing, put it in our comments below in our text box. Or you can speak in your microphone. I'll just recognize you if you're going to speak. So, kagina, 5 pa lang kabilog, ano pa lang ka students. Good evening, ito ninyo guys. To karon 20, do ka mga 10 ka klase natin. Very good. Kay at least nag-endeavor kita mag-attend. Once in a week mo lang dahil yung session natin. So, I'm very grateful that you attended our session for tonight. So, what about software testing, guys? Software testing is done. Particularly on the codes that you are going to develop or a system or an application. So you will know sometime in your third year that you're going to create an application using C# yapon. And I think may dyan pag ikaw mga subject ng mobile application, no? So you can choose in a variety of of the application that you're going to have regarding when you have your thesis already. So that's it. But then again, software testing is done so that you can ensure the quality and you can have the assurance that your customers will be satisfied with the application that you're going to develop or the system that you're going to develop. Kung anong kinalain ka system sa application, actually, ang system is a totality nga entirety ka kadang na nag-solve ka mga problema mo base sa kinanglanon ninyo sa amo ang sitwasyon that is system. Whereas the application is a certain method or a certain thing that you develop so that it can also answer your problems and it can also solve anything that you wanted to do. Just like, for example, you need a tracing app for COVID-19, so you make a tracing app for COVID-19. That's what Iloilo City is doing right now. And eventually, this December, students, when you go to Iloilo City, you have to download their application. Otherwise, hindi ka makasulod sa mga department store kaya iba yan. So I think that's the latest, and it is subjected to several debates about this. Kaya may mga tao na nag-oppose kada. It's because of the privacy issue, no? Ang application nila nag-require nyo mga data. Like for example, ang mga data, ang ngaran nyo, middle name, mga essential data that's in the students. Kaya sometimes it's not safe to gather all those data. Because, example, nag-compromise ang security mo sa mga transactions mo. Like, for example, in bank transactions. Mamanaan ang daing imong data. Pwede naman, ma-post, duro na naman tunto tulad. Duro nag-post as ikaw kung manaan the identity mo. Especially kung manaan the date of birth mo, ang kung diin ka gintawo, sino asawa mo, edad mo. So, those are the very much essential data. So, you just kamo gani student, no? Compromise maganda yung identity ninyo. Actually, we are all exposed to identification anytime because of Facebook, no? Because of social media. Don't you know ang Facebook ninyo kag ang Google gani, no? Nag-track da ka mga browsing habits naton. That's why I don't use Google Chrome. I'm using another browser. It's called Brave browser. You can check it out. I'm going to put a link on the description later. In our group chat. Okay, when you're using Google Chrome, it tracks your kung anong mga website, kung diin ka mag-add to. That's why kung maghimo ka mo milagro nga hindi ka mo mag-add to sa mainstream nga butangan niyo siya ka incognito mode or private browsing. Para hindi matrace kung ano ginahimo niya diyan na okay. So those are the things nga why is it necessary to make privacy or make a deal with security for software testing? The reason for that is very much similar to the reason nga kinanglan niya maggamit ka Facebook ninyo. Matingala ka mo one time sa Facebook ninyo, gaarara na yan yung mga pasayod, mga advertisements. It's because kung ano nga website ay ginaatunan ninyo, kag ano gina-track na siya, at ka Google, kag i-send sa mga social media accounts ninyo. Nagka-interlink the standard. So, ang privacy ninyo is very much compromised. Una best, apply sa mga applications kung may notice ninyo. Ang data ninyo ginabuol, ang birthday nyo, kung sino mga tao pera edad nyo, sino ginikanan nyo, ano yung itsura nyo, kaya tingnan mga pictures ka mo. Don't you know that in Facebook, your picture na mag-upload ka mo, na sige ka mo, ay kumakaan ka, selfie lang ka mo, gina-upload nyo lang dyan, yung mga TikTok nyo, yung mga ano nyo, ginatrack na nakada yung mga movements niyo guys, yung mga preferences niyo. At the same time, matingala ka mo doon kung ano nga mga advertisements siguro, mawain mo ka mo nag-i-order ka mga ano kada or ano sa mga Lazada, sa mga kundiin. Pero in short, matingala ka mo nga amo daya ginambutan na kanimo. Kaya ginagamit ang daya mga data ninyo para tawaan ka mo ka mga products na ginalataw ninyo sa online. So amo daya purpose na. And it is done because of artificial intelligence, no? Tama doon ka advance. Yung mga phone natin gani, cell phones, those are small devices, pero if you don't limit your usage, I think diyan pag itanda ginabuol pag yung mga data ninyo kung din kamo nga lugar gaadto sa mga Google Maps ninyo kung naka-on na siya, mamanan kun diin kamo permi gaadto kun diin niya ano nyo na. So those are things that is controlling our lives later on. So I'm not saying that you don't use all of these things. I'm saying is you be careful, okay? And eventually, when you, kaya mo malay mo, sorry guys, we are going to develop a software. We're going to develop a system, or probably you're going to develop an application or mobile app. Na. So those are the things that you need to consider. Ang topic natin is necessary, which is system software testing, because software testing is very much to make the most of the applications and the what's this gani, the software that you're going to create. So you set a limit for that, no? Okay. Don't you know also that I'm getting your data man sa exam ninyo last time sa pagtao ko kaninyo ka exam bala. So ang application again ano naton yung gamit is ang Google Form. Okay, so it's already made available form pero in-customize ko lang para sa questions na ginagawa pa ninyo. So ang ano nyo, ang compare score nyo, kung ano yung mga items na sala pero may kamo nasabtan, so manaan ko na tanan-tanan ng statistics na. Pero ginagamit ko na sa so sa aton sa educational purpose lang. Niway ko dahil ginagamit sa ibang purpose. Na. So, mga students, ang ano natin club. Okay, somebody is... Okay, good evening. Good evening, Mandel. Good evening. Oh, you may think I'm very much paranoid. No, because that is the reality of what is happening in our everyday living. So just limit your ano lang guys. Just be careful lang to guard your ano. I'm not using a banking app. Land bank wala ko gamit ako ng cellphone because na-hadlock ako guys nga dali abing ma-hack ang phone. Mapos i-hack ang Android phone no karon. May mga hacker na pwede so when you're going to have software testing, you will know vulnerabilities yung ginatawag kundi nanda pwede so just be careful lang din. Okay, I know that is essential. No, your GCash and your GCash is an application. Pero nag-test today doon. GCash, Paymaya, what else pag ano mga payment methods natin. Sa GCash pwede ka makabayad sa Eleco doon hindi ka mo pila to. Pwede ka makabayad sa GCash actually. Okay. Gusto niyo magka-GCash, magka-5 pesos. I-link ko yung GCash ko kanino. Then kung ma-verify, may 50. Ako may 50 man ka mo. Pati joke lang. Oh. I-try nyo Gcash guys. Kaya ang Gcash do karon ang payment methods. Maski mag-atol lang ka mo sa magbayad ka mo sa Rose Pharmacy. Actually, Gcash pwede doon magbaton na siya. And sa mga merchants, may mga wallet siya. Ang tawag kada is blockchain technology. It's another topic. Pero hindi kita magparayuan sa topic natin which is software testing. Limit lang kita sa mga applications at mga systems na naman natin nga pwede ninyo Okay, so pamangkot ko mo guys, pamangkot about software testing kag kung ano yung ginahimo ninyo. May ginatawag niya pagaling nga white box testing kay black box test, no? Anong isa gani is gray box testing. Ano day ang mga ampada? Ang white box amo gidaya ginagamit ng mga ano na to, ng mga ang usually ginagamit sa software test, ang standard bala. Ang ISO 991 ano ganito sa ano na to. Okay. Just sa module. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, it is ISO 9112 ano to gani kay na? Diyan sa module ninyo. Kung ginbasa ninyo. Okay, so never mind, hindi ko makita. Pero ang white box test is the standard na for software testing. Meaning to say, kung gamiton niyo ang white box test, makita ninyo gid ang tanan-tanan na diferensya sa code ninyo. Kag kung ano ya pwede ma-offer kaninyo kadang test nga para magsakto ang code nga gina-obra ninyo sa coding. At the same time, kung ano ang method nga ginagamit sa pag cluster ang mga applications ninyo nga kung ano yung gusto ninyo itao sa customer or sa developer ninyo. Take note that being the one who is creating the application or the system, you are doing it for a customer or for somebody who needs your application. So, ang mindset natin is you're trained to work on a company and develop a software guide. And at the same time, you perform tests or testing before nga i-deploy nyo sa inyong clients. So, the most conventional way is the white box, which is standard. Ang ginatawag naman ng black box tests for software testing, kung i-google nyo na, ang black box test is the opposite of white box, meaning to say it's reverse engineering. No? So, diyan nagsikat yung mga Chinese, kaya ginakopyanan nila yung mga software ka-Amerikano or mga Europeans or mga Japanese. Gina-reverse engineer na daday para mag-create ang kaanda nga version. Kaya iban nga kada mga nagmi dun eh. That's why, nagabarato ang cellphones kaya may mga China nga phone nga medyo barato na kag quality man gani no ang iban. Pero I don't know kung secure na siya kay sometimes ang Chinese ginabatan ka spy nga mga sensors na nag-spy ka ninyo or mga program nga nag-gather ka data ninyo nga gina-analyze nanda sa nanda ginagamit ang data nga sa pag-limit ka mga activities naton or ginastudihan na ang habits naton or ang mga ano naton. So it's beyond software testing already. May mga factors pag ito ng discuss naton sa mga time na may time pag kita. Pero ang black box test is just the reverse engineer of the Ang ginahimo nanda, kung white box is the conventional, let's say, like for example, ang hampanganan nga daya. Okay, so ang pangalan diyan kanyo. Ang ginaano daya guys kung ano itsura na or ang ginahimo nanda kada ginabuol nang isa ka parte kada diyo. Tapos gina-analyze nanda ang quality na kung ano ang material nga ginagamit or kung ano. Tapos gahimo to naka-duplicate na. Tapos ang gina-assemble nanda daw parte kada. So hasta nga makabahimo sa nakaisa ka hampangan nga pareho kada nga mas manami pa diha. So, ang muna ginatawag ang black box test, reverse engineer or reverse engineering. Ang gray box naman is the combination of white box and black box. Na gray siya. Kaya kung i-combine mo ang black at white na color, ay mo siya gray. So, ano lang ang istorya. Pero actually, it's a combination of both white box and black box we're in. So, white box, ang ginagamit ang isa ka procedure sa pag-test. Pero ang black box naman is gina-reverse mo ang engineer and combine mo sa nga duha ano pa nakabutang sa gray box na test. So more or less, those are the things that you need to consider about testing. Don't worry about it. Software testing is just the method na ginagamit so that you will know that if your application or your system is at par to the standard. Yeah. So those are the standard or the tests na ginagamit so that ma-verify gid kung ang ginhimo ninyo is actually of quality or not. So kung below siya, ano pwede mo imuon para magsaka ay quality na or magpanami pa. Kung above the quality, paano mo siya i-maintain nga maging nami mo gyapon. So very good example is your cell phones, no? Ang mga cell phones ninyo do karon barato doon, pero nagklasig kag nagnami ang mga chipsets nanda. Luwas lang kawawi kaya wawi ang embargo pa Amerika tungod sa 5G nanda. So I think that's all I can say about software testing. Please ask questions, guys. Don't be shy. Or kung may why ka mo it may na insindihan ka activity nga himuon ninyo, please let me know. Okay. I'm reading here your reactions about our topic for tonight. So you can share your thoughts about software testing. I can may naman mo party sa testing nga mo da. Do you have any idea about what is software testing, guys? Or may hindi ka mo maintindihan sa module na to? Hello, good evening. May anghel nga naglabay, nagkiripos kita tanan. Okay, how was your day today, Mauranon? I think the weather is not very good, and I have not checked your students past what's this kind of activity because I'm still busy doing something. I'm researching something. Kaya gani nandito kami sa Enrique, kaya medyo malutak pa. So pang-picture mo lang yung obra namon, pero trabaho so man gid. And I'm still working on some changes on my so that's why I'm just busy. And nagsabay-sabay sa classic naton nga bulinggit ni Daya sa likod ko. Hindi nilang sapakon. Okay lang na. Okay, so what else do we need to talk about this evening? Okay, so software testing na lang kita. So libatong ko lang, no? Why do we need to have software testing? Because number one, cost effectiveness. So that hindi ka sa gasto. Ay tandaan ninyo ang later on, so may subject din ng project management. May tatlo kung maka-factor sa kinanglan sa project, no? Ang tatlo nila is ang tawag niyo ang cost, ang bili ka project, ang scope, meaning to say kung diin sakop ka project ninyo. Ang last time is cost, scope, kag time na ang project management, ang isa ka project is specifically ang IT project dapat may time gida, time finished and time started. Time started and time finished. Kung magsubra ka mo doon sa time nga deadline, kung magsobra ka mo sa deadline means magasto duda kay nagpagwa ka mo ka resources. That is why sa IT projects dapat nga tapuson gid on time na. Hindi nyo lang kapag pumangkuton insa nga so may mga project ka na other than IT project, applicable man gyapon sa mga project nga iban other than IT project na. Pero actually, ginalimit ko natin sa IT project natin because IT team mo. So, IT management, IT project. Tandaan niyo cost, time, kag scope. Ang mga tatlo. So, sa cost effectiveness. For customer satisfaction, this is the topic wherein you have to visualize or to know kung ano ang gusto gid na matabo ka inyong gina-develop nga partner or inyong customer or inyong client. Sorry, if you're employed in a company, it might be in an IT company, hindi man siguro kamo mag-develop ng mga software, basta nag-assemble ka mga printer or nag-manufacture ka kung ano, kabroad ka IT nga field. hindi lamang kita limited sa dang mga software nila, pero ang sa ano gid nato na students in our example, gina-train gid dapat ka mga mag-program and ibaligya ninyo yung program ninyo sa mga clients ninyo. Pero actually, the IT field doesn't revolve on that lang. It might be you're being employed in an electronics company wherein manufacture ka mga microchips sa mga cellphones or sa mga ano. Eh, medyan kitang ano karon na IT graduate nga halin ka naton di nga nakatrabaho doon sa mga factory sa Taiwan. Pero naghalin sila sa Laguna kay tapos kinsan lang sila ka company na sa Taiwan because siguro mas kinanglan sila to or naka-experience sila sa manufacturing bala. So nag-deal sila ka mga microchips na gina-embed sa mga lain-lain nga electronics na products. Like for example, sa mga alarm clocks or medyan man silang rice cooker na may mga microchip na sa dalong nga mga electronics nila. So, ginahima is they are in manufacturing so that what they're doing also is so they have quality control na aspect kada. Meaning to say, ang tawag gina-id kung ang quality ka gina-manufacture ninyo ng microchips or ibang pang products is of quality or not. And then gina-discard ang product ang hindi manami. And then gina-check ang sa assembly line. So those are the things that you need to consider ninyo mapos no hindi lang mapos. Anyway, i-train man kamo gilagyapan kung maka-over ka mo sa company ninyo or maka-employ ka mo sa mga electronics na services kandang mga factory or manufacturing sector. So for software testing naman siya, may quality control man gyapon. That is why ang standard natin is ISO. ISO is the acronym for International Standard Organization. So hindi ka mo kaluwas sa ISO because tanan-tanan nga product services may ISO. Ang school naton is involved sa ISO. Kaya sa akin na duwa sa accreditation para maka-credit, nag-undergo mo ito sa ISO para na-at par ito sa mga eskwelahan sa sagwa sa sagwa sa abroad bila okay, so at par kita kana. That's why we have our ISO. If you will notice again, if you have a helmet bala na naga-motor ka mo, sa helmet ninyo may ISO nga sticker. So both balon ang ISO hindi lang limitado sa eskwelahan, ginagamit man ang standard ng ISO sa tanan-tanan ng sectors. So yung helmet nila ni may ISO, yung mga Christmas lights ninyo magbakal ka mo dapat may ISO sticker. Insa nga ISO ang ginagamit ng standard because it is an international standard. ISO so kung may tatak na ISO, meaning say quality na siya. So that's why sa aton nga software testing dapat nagasunod kita ka ISO man nga standard. So gina-test natin ng software para nga kung i-deploy din natin sa aton nga mga clients, luwas hindi sila magreklamo pero satisfied pa sila sa ginahimo ninyo. So mo da. It might be gani nga galing sa aton di ba kita majoring sa game development bala. So kung sorry hindi kung may taton din it major di ka game development sa San Enrique abi mo. Pero actually sa PSIT ng mga IT nanda sa ibang schools in I don't know where from the end ng mga lugar, mga Cebu siguro or ang Miagao gani, UP Miagao. May dyan sa dalang programa sa animation, nagapanghimo sa naka-sketches kag mga cartoons na ginapahulag nanda kag gina-animate. So ang ginagamit ng mga software is ang Maya ata tapos na drawing sa ng mousepad mga isda mga pinakuna na naging mo mga pispis dayon ginapalupad nanda ginabutang ka animation. So those are the things that ang ginagamit sa animation. Ang ginagamit nanda is ang quality sa software nga ginagamit nanda at the same time kung ang output nanda kung nayaton hindi. So asymmetrical drawing or something. Aton dia we don't have that kind of facility because why kita nag-offer ka ng animation nga major. aton na is the software development. So you're expected to to follow software testing whenever you are developing a certain application. Actually tulad ang third year sa ibang kong klase, duha subject ang tutunan ko, ang operating system kag ang desktop development, no. Sa desktop development naging mo sa naka-application actually. Ang nagamit nanda is ang C#. Pero ang kamot na, di ba, ang program ninyo is IDE, using IDE online lang siya. Kaya para hindi mabudlay. Kaya ang kanaton, paano nyo i-test ang software ninyo sa sagwa na ano lang ginagamit ninyo, cellphone. Kaya di ba distance learning, kita anay, online learning. Ito hindi kita face-to-face. So, that is why nga amo dahil ginaimo naton ang online IDE lang. But later on, when you are going to have or to develop a software, what you're going to do is i-install nyo gid ang bilog ng program ka C#. Then that's the time that you're going to program it and saan ang IDE mismo. And you can produce an application. So that's what the third year is developing right now sa desktop ng subject. Pero there's a subject again nga mobile application nga gahimo ka mo ka apps. So sa apps nga ang ginagamit niyo is Android Studio ata. Android Studio is heavier. Mabutang makudaad ka kaninyo, mabutang makudaad ka ng among kadang classic ka Pero I don't think na makayad ka cellphone ninyo or ka ang laptop ninyo nga Windows 7 lang ya So hindi pwede. So, it's much better daan sa laboratory kita para makatesting daan. Pero, we will do our lang gid ng kung ano lang resources natin At the same time, we just have to master C#, no? Because it's very much interesting, I don't know in other subjects kung ano ang classic programming language na ginapaano ng data ninyo. It's either Java or Python or whatever, depende sa teacher or depende sa subject. However, so that we'll have a mastery of at least you can study C# and then at the same time you can program it to and then afterwards software testing will come in. Introduce ang paano mag-test software, no? So actually ang standard natin is based on ISO 9112 ata, if I'm not mistaken. Gina-revolve lang dayan sa I will just give an example next meeting siguro about ang ISO 912 na ginatawag kung paano ninyo gamitin sa pag-test. However, those are the theoretical aspects that you need to learn about software testing. Next is naging discuss natin last time, kaya some of you are late, so let me introduce lang testing. Ang testing levels, no? The testing levels naman, ang kinahanglan we're going to have a unit test. Unit test is ang kabilugan ng testing daya from top to bottom ng code, halin sa babaw pati sa dalong. Ang integration naman is number 2, integration test is sipi-sipi ninyo ang part ka code. Why siya gina-test nga bilog? Gina-test nyo lang isa-isa. And then kung mag-okay naman ang isa-isa ninyo nga test, gina-integrate na as a whole. Whereas ang number 3 is the system testing, is the end-to-end. It's called the black box test, ang discuss natin ng testing data. And then ang pinaka-orihigid is the acceptance testing. This is the final. Pero sa acceptance testing, may tatlo kita ka-type ka test, alpha, beta, and gamma test. Alpha, preliminary. Ang beta, peer-to-peer, meaning to say, test ka mo kung software yung i-develop mo, gamit ang feedback ka client sa tupad mo. And then the last one is the gamma test, wherein ang final test mo ang gamma test. So those are the testing levels. Pero may dyan pag kita gali sa module natin yung tinatawag na testing methods. Ang testing methods naman na daya is the methodology or strategy na ginagamit sa pag-certify ka application user test nga kinahanglan sa clients natin. So there are 2 testing methods na tinatawag. Number 1 is static testing and number 2 is dynamic testing. Why dayan mga butang sa slides nato kagina. So, ang static test is the verification test lang yun. So, what you're going to verify is the static method of checking documents and files. The verification process, the pareho lang baladayan na nag-adto ka mo sa NBI kag sa PSA, Philippine Statistics Authority, mabuol ka mo ka mga live birth nyo, marriage contract, kag ano. So, magbuol ka mo ka dyan, gina-verify lang ang identity ninyo, anay, ang ginatawag ka nga test is static test. Mean to say, gina-verify kung ikaw gid ang tao nga nabutang sa document, kung hindi. What are they doing para mag-test kadaya, kadang static test? So, what they're doing is, gina-inspect ng inspection, review, and walkthroughs. Ano yung walkthroughs? Mga keywords. Kangaran mo, apelyido. Like for example, magbuol ka NBI clearance mo, kay tungod na ang example ngaran mo abi is ano no, Excel Charles Anthony Partisala, si Charles. So kung may parehong ngaran si Charles, si Excel Charles, lantawon na kung ano yung middle name. Diyan dumanda ang base. Or kay Randel, abi no, Randel Carillo. So imagine nyo ay 100 pera ka Randel Carillo ang ang kundiin nga Randel Carillo ang nag-scatter sa bilog ng Pilipinas. Kasi may Randel Carillo ito sa Aklan, or sa Davao, or sa La Union, or sa Baguio City na mga parente ni Randel. Nga pareho man ang apelyido. Si Charles hindi bali. Si Charles ay the unique ang nangangaran. So, gina-verify nanda nga si ikaw gidman si Randel Carillo nga taga San Enrique. So kung medyan pagid nga Randel Carillo nga taga Pasig, herapay tanay malang ang sa Enrique kay Pasig nga Iloilo pagid. Di mabase dumanda sa middle name ni Randel. So example kung Palma ang middle name ni Randel, di si Randel gid eh. Pero kung middle name ni Randel is Partisala. So lain dumalata nga Randel base taga Aklanda. Dayon hay ginalantaw na ang number of cases kung medyan ka mo base may kaso ka dala. Ang muna hindi mo mabuol in the clearance mo. Kung may hits, ikaw, ang hits na pareho ng ngaran mo na nabutang sa inyong clearance, hindi ka mo kabuol sa clearance. That's why, guys, kung magpangaran ka mo kabataan nyo, sorry, dapat unique ang ngaran ng daha para hindi mabuday ka na mag-buol NBI clearance. Tapos hindi nyo pagsilutan kabataan nyo, may dal nabi nga ginikanan nga tag-tatlo, tag-apat yung ngaran ang dabla. Pati yung ngaran ka lula, kag lulugin, butang sa ngaran ka bata, labog-labogin, apat ka bilog ngaran na, iapaw. Hindi ka mo iawan ka pangaran ka bata nyo, maluoy ka mo. Maluoy ka mo kananda. So static, guys, nagarayo doon ka sa natin, sa istorya. Ang static, static, static testing daan ginatawag. May ginatawag man kita nga dynamic testing. Ang dynamic testing is sa testing methods topic natin. Testing methods is just a validation testing in software test, wherein you are going to test the real product, no? Real validation is the process kung sa ipangabuhi mo dun nga klase ka test ang dynamic test. Kung sa I don't know guys, kung nadumduman ninyo ang pasayod kadang dato puti karang una, nagtirawan kadang sa advertisement, nagtirawan tapos nag-create na I don't know kung naabutan ng dato puti nga commercial nila, Gen X, bitakon, millennials din nyo. Amo yung ginatawag nga dynamic test. Pero kung sa software kita magbase, what you're going to do is to test this, ang dynamic testing ginatawag, i-validate niyo ang product, which is kung i-feedback niyo siya kung right or wrong, and then gabutan ka mo mga dynamic processes, like for example innovation or certain aspects. So that is an example of dynamic test na ginatawag. Pero mag-ama ka mo static test, ang tunghambal ko kayo ng example na itong sa NDI na gina-validate bala. So, questions, guys? Some more questions about software testing. I hope na satisfied ang ninyo, ang learning for this evening about software testing. software testing is limited only for software test. So software test is done so that those are the reasons that we need to test: cost effectiveness, the assurance of product for the client, and etc. etc. So I hope na may ibutang kamo sa activity natin, guys. Anyway, I don't know if may deadline siya. I hope why. And amat-amat din yung activity natin for this. So, okay, so I think I'm done explaining to you what is software testing. Kay may comment ko man ko gid. I hope na satisfied ko gid ano ninyo about software test. Ang ano ko lang gid is I'm hoping that you can answer your activity for this and don't let me ask you lang dili of what is the status of your activities. Nakapasa naman kamo sa activity. Ang iba na pass ang activity. May nabilin pa nga sa midterm na activity. Kung ang fact check nga daa, I think why that deadline ata, no? So you can pass it anytime. However, your past activities, please don't prolong. If you finish it, you pass it in our Google Classroom so that you will have I can, maybe next week, I can start checking your activity naman after kung matapos ang obra ko. Okay. Sige. Do you have any shoutouts for this evening, guys? Dakatinong dito ninyo. I think ang ano lang gali, i-issue ko lang gali ang last time ang may 5 gali kaninyo nga ay kabual maka-exam. Do not worry, we will ano lang gid ang 5 nga guys, stay put lang anay. Hindi ka mo lang magkabala ka. It's okay. Don't worry yet. We'll devise something na pwede na ito nimuon na makabuo ka maka-exam. Because hindi ko na pwede abi mo post online kaya ma-compromise na exam natin sa 3rd time. So the best alternative for that is mabuo gid ka mo ka online test natin face-to-face. However, hindi pwede kaya may policy kita nga no face-to-face gid na instruction pula. So we will wait lang gid anay kung pwede do ka mo kabalik sa eskwelahan. Pwede ka mo kabalik sa eskwelahan, that's the time that mapabulod ka mo ka midterm examination. Anyway, 5 man lang ka mo kabilog na kilala niyo man da kung sino ka mo. Obrahan niyo lang, sige lang obrang activity niyo guys, kag ipasa niyo lang gid sa Google Classroom niyo. Now, ang may dyan pa kaninyo nga why ka nakabul ata module nyo. So yung bulan lang palihog ko sa guardhouse. Ang why pa ko naka-print sa module for the final. Ang saka natawaan kung wala karang nagligad, just wait lang yun. Or you can post it sa inyong you can check out our Google Classroom. I'm announcing guys nga para maka-advance ka mo ka sobra sa activity na to. Madali ninyo lang I will just post ang activity ninyo sa Google Classroom so that you can have an advance sa module. Pero ang schedule natin for the lecture, i-continue lang natin every Wednesday evening. Okay? Okay. Any more? Pamangkot, gid. Shout out lang kay Danica. Kay Danica, kay Ezekiel. Kay Andrea, kay Angelo, kay Brendan Zan, kay Tia May, kay Charles,
Hi, sir.
kay Cheryl,
Hi,
kay
sir.
Ivan. Hello, good evening. Kay Jericho, kay hello, kay Jocelyn, kay Joylyn, kay Makwan, kay Randel, kay Rodamay, kay Roseanne. Dua ka Roseanne.
Hi, sir.
Kay Vincent. Hello, good evening lang kaninyo guys. Good evening lang sa ninyo. Sa panimala nyo, regards lang po dyan sa ginikanan ninyo. Okay, ano dang mga reaction ninyo di sa mga emojis ninyo guys? Hindi ko kamaan kung ano dati dang ano. Oh, dali lang. Sige, istoryahan doon nato ng mga reaction ninyo di. I know nga nag-react lang kamo sa ano ha, sa gin-lecture lang naton. Pero just think about ano lang gid, positive things in this pandemic. We are on this together, still as one, and I'm hoping that we can continue our discussion maski na mo lang gid kadaya. So medyo mabudlay lang mga limitations nato. So let's think about the positive things. I don't know if the COVID is nag-decrease diya sa ano. I don't know kung may cases pa rin ano. Ang mga LSIs nakauli doon or whatever. So that ano we can tackle different issues as we move on. So muna may mga advantages man gani guys nga natabo. Hindi naman ka mamamiliti pa adto sa eskwelahan do mo da yang fliti na ano masakit-sakit ang pamiliti. Ang ano lang din siguro is ano we'll wait and see lang what happens in our ano. So I think kung may naman kita guys if ano medyo pa kami idugang. Kung may naman kita at ano ay puro ano do lang yung ginambalanta. Ano-ano do lang. Sige, we'll call it a night na. Thank you for your you do your attendance na, reminder only. You just click your attendance right now so that we will check your ano. Okay, sige. Okay, so thank you guys for this evening and
Thank you, sir.
Thank you Del. Until ano, may shout out ka mo guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and see you next meeting. Good evening.
Sige, sir.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay.
Bye.
I will post the replay of this meeting sa YouTube so that your other classmates can know what kung ano yung topic natin for this evening and makaano man sa naka-lesson natin.
Sure.
Okay. Sige. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gid. Good evening hanggang sa balay ninyo. Good evening din Kalandayan. Good evening. Bye-bye Kalandayan. Bye-bye. Bye. Good night. Good night. Good night na. Good night.
Vincent.
Good night do, no? So thank you kita. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, Danica. Good evening.
Vincent.
Okay, Ivan. Thank you.
Vincent.
Bye.
Doon.
Vincent.
Ano daw?
Vincent.
Ay.
Damal.
Wait ko naman. Si Gian.
Bye.
Okay. Sige, good night guys. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye. Sige, sir. Bye,
Good
sir.
night.
Oh, nag-irog ako kanina.
Sige, sir.
Vincent.
Okay, sige. Ano ko doon na high recording. Stop ko doon. I think.